my name is Melinda Dobson, and welcome to the I Ching Cafe and our weekly I Ching overview for the week commencing the 15th of May. As we head into this week, if you are watching this on the Sunday, happy Mother's Day to you if you're a mother, and any lifetime you were a mother. So let's just all celebrate, right? Mother's Day, the power of the mother within and within you, to nurture your life, even if you don't have your mother with you anymore, or that it was a struggle or a relationship for you. Be the mother to yourself, no matter what your gender. Okay, so today we are looking at the week ahead for the 15th of May. So let's cast our minds back to last week. We had hexagram 5, waiting, locked, okay, doubling down on this energy of waiting. And I spoke to you about how important it is to use this week to do active waiting, okay, to get ready and prepare. While the clouds are accumulating and bringing in the rain, while things are taking their time, be patient, but use the time well to get ready, to prepare your thinking, to prepare your action, to get your plan in place. Whatever it is that you're waiting for, do the work this week to get ready. And I know there were some of you who commented on how much waiting was going on, and for me as well, there was something that I was waiting on, and I just really let it go, because what else can one do? And so for me, this hexagram was so valuable this week in not getting caught up in the frustration, right? Of just realizing there's a season to sow, there's a season to reap. Trust the flows. It's coming. What you need is coming. Get ready. Do the preparation work to build the foundation, to build the aqueducts and the irrigation system, that when it rains, the water has somewhere to go and you can maximize every single drop. If there was something that you work towards when you're waiting, please do share a comment. It'd be wonderful to hear from you. Okay, this week, no locked hexagrams this week. Our first hexagram for this week, our first focus, the thing that is coming out of the quantum soup, out of the ether as a metaphor, as a symbol for us to focus our attention on, is hexagram 59, dispersing. Okay. A little while back, we had this hexagram, and I spoke about this idea of using the incense stick, right? The smoke to clear out the energetic clutter in your home, okay? To clear out a space, to release stuck energy. And this hexagram is indeed that. It's the warm wind blowing over the frozen water. You can see from the structure of the hexagram, that tells us that there's an opportunity for us to thaw, melt, dissolve, release, unlock things that have become stuck and locked up, okay? Obstacles that are often very old, very stuck in the past, that we can get an opportunity to unearth and to release, okay? Because this energy of dispersing blows and allows us to disperse something that is locked and fixed within us. Now, this locked up energy is like if you've got a pine cone, for example. You've got all the kind of the leaves of the pine cone, is that what they are? All the little kernels holding the pine nuts in there, tight, right? And then, when it's ready, they open up and release the seeds, and so the pine tree can cast its seed far and wide and continue to propagate, okay? What we want to do is we want to see this image and say that within us, potentially there's one or more tight up little seeds, okay, pockets of these seeds that are locked up. And the seeds might not necessarily be something good and positive, okay? There might be things that are preventing our positive seeds from casting forth and germinating. But there are things that are tied up, right? They are locked in. And so this week gives us the chance, if we work with it consciously, to open up that cone, open up those kind of hidden chambers and start to unearth things that are locked, issues that perhaps are illusions or fantasies or ideas we have about things that are perhaps a little bit warped and not necessarily based in reality. We all have those. And so this week allows us to drill down and really focus on those things and be aware of how we can use this energy to release things, okay, to open up and let it thaw out and let that issue dissolve, all right, and release its grip on us. Because when we have hidden things that are stuck and locked in, often we can't see them. And so they continue to impact us even though we cannot see them. We're not conscious that they're there. So this week, pay attention to what it is that you need to dissolve and release. So this week we have 3 changing lines, okay? And so they give us 3 specific types of things that are dispersing, okay? Different focus areas for dispersing. You might find that one of these is relevant to you. You might find all three, and you might find they come in 1, 2, 3 in a sequence, or they all come in at once. Just be open to the experiment of life. So let's get into what these changing lines are asking us to pay attention to dispersing. So we have them in position 2, 3, and 5. In position 2, okay, what we are dispersing is we are dispersing the old support structures we tend to lean on. Okay, and we're being asked to lean into new ways. Let go of, disperse, release the old things we would lean on in a time of challenge, okay, and embrace some new things. These could be people, approaches, philosophies, belief systems, okay? They can be negative practices, things that we do. We hold on to these negative beliefs, or we hold on to these negative patterns because it's what we know, okay? And this week, there's an opportunity to become aware of what is this old thing that we lean on, right? We like to lean on the balustrade outside the saloon, right? It's old things that are influencing us that we need to disperse and reach out for the new. Look for yourself as you go through the week of where your mind or your default setting is. What do you go back to as the old support structure? Is it like back to an old relationship, or is it back to an old habit? Is it an old way of thinking, or is it a protection mechanism? What is this old thing that we're being asked to, it's old, it's worn out. Our energy can be found by embracing the new, higher principles, better habits, new ways of working. Okay, lean forward. Right. Our next changing line in the 3rd position, we've had this line quite a few times, and this is about dispersing the need for personal recognition, for personal ego. This week, there's important work that needs to get done. What will not help this important work is if we want recognition. Okay, we want a pat on the back, we want the strokes, we want the recognition for the work that we've done this week. No. What's important is that we put the work first, because there's a big challenge. There's a wonderful, important thing that we are undertaking. And this week, our attention has been drawn into where we need to put the work first. Put down the need for the ego and for, the financial recognition or the social recognition, whatever it is that means to you. Put that down. What's most important this week? Throw everything into the work, because it's important. And I'm sure you'll remember that changing line we had a little while back. And then in the 5th line, okay, 5th position, what are we dispersing here? This line, we are dispersing the sweat. Okay, so in a fever, we also have had this line before. When you have a fever, and it builds up, and then when you break out into a sweat, you know that the back of the fever is broken, okay? And as soon as you start to sweat, it's like that stuck energy, that build up, that effort of curing this attacker that's attacking from the inside, okay? All this energy built up and the body's fighting it and raising the temperature, okay? Boiling point, okay? We break into sweat and we dissolve. So what's happening for us this week, there was likely to be something that comes to our awareness is what the previous changing line referred to of the great project in front of us. Okay. Everybody has some great project, or should have some great project, an endeavor that is pushing your boundaries, that is challenging you, that is getting you to tap into reserves, resources, skills, and abilities that you didn't know you had. Because if we were not pushed to do that, we would just never get anywhere. Like the human race would just stop evolving, right? If we didn't have this drive to continually push ourselves forward, expand our horizons, strengthen our resolve, double down our fortitude, and keep going and pushing forward. And so the great project is right and center this week, is online, okay? And what we're being told to do with this line is to focus on putting in the work, keep on moving forward. Even though there's obstacles, even though there's challenges, just keep putting, because this pressure's building, the sweat is coming, and then, okay, there comes the sweat and we have the release. So there's a promise here that if we put in the work, and I think putting the work first with the previous changing line, supports this idea. The great projects ahead of us this week. There's something important for us to do to dissolve and disperse. There are challenges that we have to get out the way. And the way we do that is we put in the effort, okay? We lean on new things, okay? We reach for new solutions. We put in the effort. We put the work first. We put aside personal satisfaction for later. And we put the work first and we go for it. And we put the great project ahead of us and we go for it. And the sweat will come to release us from this fevered activity that has been part of our life this week. So what does that lead to? Where do these three changing lines yield in terms of a second hexagram? And remember, these work in parallel, not start and stop, okay, or beginning and end. They come through a parallel process. And that is hexagram 52, keeping still. Double of mountain. Mountain on the top trigram, mountain on the bottom trigram. This is the doubling of mountain. This is the opportunity for us to be still, to be calm, to find our center, to not run around and go crazy, to find a place of inner calm and rest and pause before we embark on the next phase of our adventure. So, the opportunity to meditate, not react, okay, non-act, be in our center. This is another facet of what we need to pay attention to this week. As we disperse and we put the work in, we also have to focus on being in our center. Okay, maybe there's a lot going on and we need to really be in our center, be calm and non-reactive in order to hold the space for the week and to allow what needs to disperse. Let's see what happens. Certainly, meditation this week is highly advised. All right, thank you so much. I hope that's valuable to you. If this was, please like or share. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe or the follow button. And I look forward to seeing you on the socials and at our next weekly overview. Remember to go back and pay attention to May, hexagram 63 after completion. What are you completing? If not, watch it again so we can get the maximum out of May as we head towards the second part of the month. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.